So I wrote this the day after 11:59 came out and added a few things after 11:60. But since I have a job and I don't always have the opportunity to record, I only got around to do that now. And look at that. Taking already made a video. So first of all, watch his because he made a video out of it faster. But I decided to make mine anyway because I was really excited when I first thought about it. And it pulled me out of my theory writer's block. I even started editing my mega theory again. So, yeah, I didn't watch Taking's video yet to prevent me from getting any kind of inspiration. But again, he made a video about this topic first. I'll credit him down below properly and watch his video too. Thank you if you're sticking around. The God Valley Incident. We first heard about it in chapter 957, and in the following 6 years, we received information about it from the Kuma flashback and the Harald flashback. As of now, we still don't know how exactly it came to an end. But right now, this is not what I want to focus on. Once again, in chapter 1159, Oda gave us a lot to take in. Rock's true name, his hometown being God Valley, his family hiding in God Valley, young dragon, Garling being an absolute piece of shit, Shaki's kidnapping and her being the grand prize in the competition, young Morgans, dragon probably being the one who saved baby Shanks, and the baby Teach. Also, the native hunting competition itself. So with all that information being dumped on us, I wonder if there's anyone who stopped to think about one bit of information that grabbed my attention in all that chaos. The native hunting competition was held every third year on islands rich in resources not affiliated with the world government to slaughter the natives for sport. And me, reading this information went, I wonder when that certain thing happened. So I opened the World Timeline article on the Piece Wiki, grabbed a pencil, and started scribbling down the years as I began to look at what happened every third year after God Valley. God Valley incident, 38 years ago, 35 years ago, nothing, 32 years ago, nothing, 29 years ago, nothing, 26 years ago. A lot happened, but not what we're looking for. 23 years ago, nothing. 20 years ago, gotcha. Nami's backstory is one that's surrounded by many speculation. All we know that she and Nojiko are from a kingdom called Oykot, which is Tokyo backwards, a name only appearing in the Weaver Card databook released in 2018. Belmar was there with other marines and was left for dead on the battlefield when 3-year-old Nojiko with baby Nami in her arms walked up to her. There was a storm when Belmar returned to her hometown with the girls and decided to adopt them, but there was never official paperwork about this. There are no information about who the Marines were fighting against. The wiki says pirates, but there wasn't anything about it in the manga or the anime. So why do I think the Oykot Kingdom was the location of a native hunting competition? For one, we don't know if that kingdom was affiliated with the world government or not. We actually don't even know where it was exactly. The kingdom's first appearance on a map was in the live action. For two, this story is vague enough to reshape it into a possible native hunting competition, but there are still strong indicators relating to it. Let's go over these indicators while we make a possible timeline of the events of the manhunt with a lot of speculation. 20 years ago, the Oykot Kingdom was chosen as the next location of the native hunting competition. Just like at God Valley, the locals were rounded up to be made targets during the manhunt by the Marines. But something happened. Something that killed everyone in Belmar's unit but her. As I wrote the script, but before I could record this video, chapter 1160 came out, and while the fan translation was a bit confusing, with the official one, I think I came to a pretty solid conclusion. The East Blue is considered the weakest of the 4 blues. That has to affect the Marine presence there too. I'm not saying that the Marines are weak. What I think is that since there aren't any dangerous pirates sailing this blue, Marines can be kinder, more human. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule. So if the Marines are more human here on the East Blue, I think we can assume once they heard their orders when Belmar's unit arrived to the island, understanding what it meant, they refused to carry it out. Belmar wasn't just a foot soldier. In Chapter 0, we can see her wearing a Marine officer coat, meaning her lowest possible rank is an ensign. We saw in these 2 chapters that the one who gave orders to Dragon was wearing one. So Belmar was the assigned leading officer of her unit. Her role was probably similar to Dragon's superior, like giving orders to cadets on a training exercise in name only, and don't ask questions. But if Belmar's reason to join the Marines was anything like Kobe's, to fight the bad guys, then it was no question for Belmar who the bad guys were in that moment. But refusing an order is considered treason in the eyes of the world nobles. And the punishment is death. Somehow, Belmar survived, but she was ready to give up, until Nami and Nojiko found their way into her life. They gave her the power to survive and get the girls off the island. Belmar managed to leave the Oykot kingdom with Nami and Nojiko, arriving to her hometown during a storm. Genzo notes what a terrible storm that was. Was it a natural storm? Or was it caused by someone or something's greater power? Belmar didn't share much information about the battlefield and the circumstances of how she found the girls. She had a strong reaction when Genzo suggested to take the girls to a government facility, and there were also no papers about them being adopted by her, like she didn't want the government to find out about the girls. Which wouldn't be surprising at all if my speculation is correct. Belmar was basically a deserter. She was supposed to die after refusing an order, and to escape with 2 native girls who were supposed to be killed during the manhunt. No wonder Belmar didn't want any documents about them. Maybe this is why they lived outside of Kokoyashi. Maybe this is why Belmar reacted the way she did when Nami said she'd wished she'd been found by rich people. But this is only speculation. Speaking of speculation, another thing happened this year in the One Piece world. Whitebeard claimed Fishman Island under his protection. I wonder, after finding out that the manhunts weren't a baseless rumor, if Whitebeard took every unaffiliated island as his own to prevent these manhunts from happening. Maybe Fishman Island was about to be that year's location of the native hunting competition. Maybe it would have been one eventually. I wonder what happened to the islands that weren't taken over by any other Yonko after Whitebeard's death. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you in another video.